I'm Trent, and this is Vision Preparedness. I'm Trent, and this is Vision Preparedness. Good evening, good evening, good evening. And here we go. How's everybody doing tonight? Good to see everybody in the house. We're going to spend some time because I don't feel that I get to speak to everybody. She said, Anna, how are you? Magic, Penny Pension Prepper, welcome. Tracy K. Magic, she's getting out Betsy just in case. My man, Ontario Prepper. Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you, my friend. Who else we got in the house tonight? Magic. I spoke. Ontario. Dan H. Good to see you, my friend. He's in the house. The Prepared Irishman. My man. Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. J3GS Farm, my brother, how are you doing? Good to see you tonight. Glad you joined us. Constitutional Carpenter is in the place to be. My man, Virginia Bushcrafter, good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. I hope everybody is doing well. Thank you for the 5x5, Dan H. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Brandon Rhodes, good to see you. Hello, 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 and hello. Chine Moss, hey, good to see you, Chine Moss Farms. Jeep Girl, how are you? I'm doing well. Robert Gunther, my friend, good to see you. I hope everybody's staying warm tonight. I hope everybody is staying warm tonight. We got a hot topic, and I think we're gonna go in a direction that nobody anticipated. I'm glad to hear that. Glad to hear that. No walking towel, and I'm the only know-it-all here. I think not. My friend, good to see you. Devil Dog in the house. Good to see you, my friend. Welcome. Welcome, Devil Dog. Prepper 99. You're doing a lot of great things over there. So we're going to get rid of some of the housekeeping stuff and go through there. So for all the content creators in the house, if you want to, you can type in the word vision and it will drop your link. And folks, check out everybody else's content because that's what we do here. We share, we share, we share, and we share. You know, check out their content. Like something, watch a video, like it, and put a comment on it. And if you really like what they're doing, subscribe. Please subscribe. Bouger Prepper, one of my amazing moderators in the house tonight. Hope you're doing well, Bougie. Diane Mosley, good to see you, my friend. And then there is my guy, my man, Marco. Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. I hope everybody's having a great day and a good Thursday night heading into the weekend, which we all live for, which is a wonderful thing. Wonderful thing. So what's everybody got going on this week or this weekend? Anybody doing the things? What are you getting done around the house? I know here for myself, I have been working on a experiment that I'm going to talk about tonight, which will lead us into our topic of what's going on. James Price, good to see you. As he says, working. Yeah, don't we all? Don't we all? Prepper Book Club, good evening to you and good to see you in the house. Good to see you in the house. We got an amazing live tonight, I think. We're going to talk about something, and we're going to talk about a lot of something, and we're going to actually walk through a scenario, and we're going to see how everybody would react to that. Michael Barton says, spending time with family this weekend, taking care of the chickens and cows too. That's a full-time job it is in itself, Michael. Glad you're here. Hope you're doing well, and welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope I've spoken to everybody that has come in this evening to sit down and spend some time. And then again, there is one virtuous woman and one vigilant watchman. Good evening and bless you too as well. Thank you for showing up. We appreciate you. Do me a favor, folks, as Bouger Prepper would say, hit the thumbs up and we thank you. Let's see if we can turn the YouTube algorithms upside down and make them say, hey, wait a minute, what they got going on over there? Tracy K, she says, I keep seeing more and more thing being announced, F-22 going and whatnot. I also heard some of our military have already lost their lives overseas. Not sure how true it is. I do not know. I have not caught up with that or read anything about that. Devil Dog taking a well-deserved break with the family from working so much. Devil Dog, that is so important, and I'm glad you're doing that. And we all need to do that, folks. We all need to take time and sit back and relax and spend it with the family, our loved ones, and just relax. That's for sure. Geox prepping, studying for my interview, trying to get a second full-time job to accelerate your preps. That's good. Good luck. I hope it goes well for you, and I hope you get that job. So, round the block. Marco, how you doing? How are you and the missus doing? I hope you guys are doing well. Jay Creature, peeps. Multitasking, not a problem, my friend, not a problem at all. Glad you're here. Glad you are here. And as Magic would say, yep, hanging with the family this weekend too. Yes, with that, let's jump right into our topic. Are we really ready for a grid down situation? We're going to answer that question many times tonight. Some of us may be, some of us may not be, and that's okay. That's why we come together, we exchange ideas, we figure out what works best for all of us. So, before we start answering that question, here is my experiment. I have been conducting an experiment myself since late fall, early winter. I would say November. And of course, you know, I live out in the middle of nowhere. So I'm not in the burbs or in the inner city. And what I have been doing for the winter, I have not turned on my central heat at all. And let me explain. No heat in the house, not using the furnace and all of that. And this is why. Because I wanted to see what the mental effects would be on a house that is semi-warm, somewhat warm, not currently room to room to room heat like we normally do in the wintertime. So here is the scenario. I have a ranch style brick house with a finished basement. Now, down in the basement is a wood burning stove. And on the main floor, I also have a fireplace. So with that, I wanted to see, just in case, as Robert said, I don't think anyone who is grid tethered is ever completely ready. You're absolutely right, Robert. We're working on being less reliant on power for day-to-day living, though. Same here, Robert. And that's exactly why I'm doing this experiment. So have not turned on the furnace for heat to heat the whole house. So I have plenty of wood and stack up the wood burning stove in the morning, light it up. It has a blower on it, so it heats. Upstairs, I have a fireplace. And what I have come to the conclusion is that fireplaces look pretty. And that's it. Brandon says he's been testing his frostbite limits this week. So fireplaces are pretty, because what I have noticed is the fireplace does not put out the sufficient amount of heat that I like. It's a wood burning fireplace. It's not gas or propane enclosed forced air. It's a old school good fireplace, brick fireplace, and stack it with wood, light it, and watch it. And it's pretty. So here's the whole thing. So I've come to the conclusion that I'm not going to waste the wood to burn the fireplace during the day or night. Strictly pack the wood burning stove in the basement. And because I have a open staircase that leads to the basement, the heat radiates up and it comes up to the first floor and disseminates out throughout and heats the house slowly but surely. As Lucky Dame, first of all, welcome, Lucky Dame. This lady here, folks, if you have not checked out Lucky Dame Preparedness, you are missing out. Do me a favor, Lucky Dame, if you type the word vision, it will drop your link in the chat and folks can check out your channel, like it, subscribe, watch some videos, leave a comment, folks. Her comment is, no, fireplaces don't put out any real heat. A wood stove is better in your opinion. I agree with you 100% and have proved that theory. So I'm also now on the hunt for a wood stove insert to put in the fireplace on the first floor. And that should take care of the issue that I've encountered. So now that we, Jason in Virginia, yes, his basement stays 58 to 65 all year round, no heat whatsoever. I'm good for food storage. That's the same way my basement is, Jason. Yes. And it's amazing and I love it. And it goes on and on and on and on. So I'm on the hunt for a wood burning stove insert for the fireplace upstairs. Hopefully I can find one this spring and put that in. So, yes, you're right, constitutional carpenter. Right. Exactly. So here's my day-to-day encounters, things I think of. So it's cold on the first floor, especially at night. Good thing is I have electric space heaters because I'm doing a partial grit down just for the heat purposes. Everything else I'll worry about later. This is a test. My man, Hudson Valley Prepping and Survival. Good to see you, my brother from another mother. Hope you're doing well and the family is great as well. As Dan says, vision. Fireplaces are for directional heating. They only heat directly in front. You're absolutely right. And that's what I found out. So the bedrooms are chilly at night, and I have space heaters in there, and that takes care of that. Those run, whatever, everything's okay. In the master bath, there is a heater in the ceiling with the exhaust fan. So it's got an exhaust fan and a fan that blows heat into the bathroom. So that heats that up. But if you leave the door open, the whole room will heat. It just heats it a little slower. Mad Shad, good to see you. Fed Up American, welcome. So my thing is, and here's in lies tonight's topic. Are we really ready for a grid down situation? The one thing that I have noticed, and I've been aware of this, Texas Redleg, good to see you, my friend, is that my mental state, my mental fortitude, and my mental attitude, because I fortunately have the pleasure of working from home all day, so I don't have to go into the office to leave the house or anything like that. So I'm home all day. So wake up in the morning, go out the bedroom door, it's cold in the hallway. March down the hall, kitchen's cold, down into the basement's cold, open up the wood burning stove. If I've done it correctly, there are still embers in the wood burning stove from the night before that are still hot, so I can stack it with whatever I need to stack it, get a fire going, close the door, upstairs I go, and soon the house begins to heat, which is fine. And if the fire goes out, you got to go back down there, restart it, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. You got to go through the due diligence to build the fire and keep it going. That's part of the mental fortitude. I find myself sometimes at first waking up with an attitude because I'm like, the house is cold. Nobody likes to wake up and step out onto cold ceramic floor, cold tile, whatsoever. So that is the mental attitude of it. The physical is you have to keep feeding the wood burning stove wood, and that's okay. But it really could take a toll on a person, especially during the winter. We talk about the winter blues or being depressed because it's gloomy outside and things like that. And so I just started researching some things, and I'm going to share this with you. And hopefully this does work. And of course it does. With this, cold homes increase the risk of severe mental health problems, a new study. And this study comes from The Conversation. This is over in the UK. And it talks about concerns about fuel poverty and people not being able to heat their homes adequately are not new in the UK. And I'm going to take myself. Poverty. So with that, whoops, sorry about that. Can you hear me now? 5x5, I went silent. So we'll rewind that and go back to the article. Basically, the article is saying, okay, thank you very much. Archangel, good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. Welcome. So basically, this article came out of the UK, and it talks about cold homes increase the risk of severe mental health problems, a new study shows. Concerns about fuel poverty and people not being able to heat their homes adequately are not new in the UK, but these worries have been heightened by the significant increase in energy costs and the cost of living crisis. And as winter approaches, things are about to get a lot worse. Of course, we all know that. She said, welcome back. Good to see you. Yep. Thank you, Hudson Valley. Learn the hard way. Despite a relatively mild climate, the UK has higher levels of excess winter deaths, which are associated with cold weather than many other colder countries. And here's why. This greater exposure to cold, despite mild weather, is related to poor housing quality and the high cost of heating homes and poverty. So basically, they were saying that people die because the weather is cold, because they can't afford to heat their houses. The houses are built inferior or not sealed properly, and it causes mental health. And the article goes on to talk about living in a cold home can affect your mental health in several ways. For many, heating costs are a source of stress and financial burden. And we all know that. The rising heating costs, electric costs, costs for propane, natural gas, everything is going up significantly. And that's stressing families out that are already on a tight budget and things like that. Sister Maria's Kitchen, welcome. Modi Soldier, welcome. Good to see you. Tonette, good to see you as well. So these are stressors that are adding to people's mental state. Like I said, in my little experiment that I'm doing, sometimes I wake up and I got an attitude, or I'm like, man, it's cold in here. And, that starts the day off wrong, but you have to have mental fortitude to get past that, to get through it and keep on doing the things you need to do throughout your day. But they're saying that, they have data that they've been collecting for people in the UK. Mental distress level is going up. And I'll share this chart. Non-mental distress level at the beginning of the season, which is over here, is at about a 2. And then borderline, as winter goes on, as people begin to feel the effects of a cold winter and either not being able to afford to heat their house properly, or to, the house is built poorly, not insulated well, it increases almost twofold. It's at almost 3.5. So, and here's the thing, it says, sadly, the risk of living in a cold home differs greatly across the UK population. Lone parents and people who are unemployed or long-term sick are much more likely to live in cold homes. Right, the cold version of hangry. Absolutely. You are absolutely correct. Elaborate. Right. So, then they break it down based on income and things like that. And they say keep in mind, this is the UK, they say putting on another jumper won't be enough to get many in the UK through the coming winter. And mental health distress is just one consequence. Could you imagine freezing to death in your own home because you couldn't afford to heat it? Everybody in the chat, we are, as a prepper, we plan, we prepare, and we prep, and we pray, and we try to avoid these things. So, in the UK, it's prevalent. And very good point, Texas Redleg. A sign of depression is sleeping most of the time. Correct. This leads to depression. And the article goes on to talk about, to combat being cold, people are becoming depressed. They're going to bed earlier, bundling up, getting in the bed, and going to sleep. And they're sleeping longer. It's amazing, the mental state, and we always talk about on our channels that, we have to take care of ourselves physically, mentally, and spiritually. This is a direct hit on the mental aspect of our lives and things we encounter when we have crisis, SHTF, or other family problems that we have to overcome. So I kept digging and kept looking, and they talk about, as Texas Redleg says, there is a thing called cold weather depression, and they actually call it seasonal affective disorder. That is the name of it. And I'll share this article and hope everybody can see it and still hear me. Seasonal affective disorder. This here is when someone experiences a monumental shift in their emotional and mental health during specific times or seasons. And they call it seasonal affective disorder. Other than that, I hear you, Jay Creature. Yes, very much so. And Brandon, you are absolutely right. It is sad. It is truly sad. So, folks, these are the things that we have to be aware of, whether it's happening to ourselves or other family members. You have to watch out for that. We have to watch out for that. It's important to consider the role the weather plays in the onset of seasonal affective disorder symptoms, and why and how and when it happens. We all start getting a little, I'm using the term depressed, in the middle of winter because it's gloomy, it's overcast, the sun's not out, and it's freaking cold. A lot of people feel shut in, that we can't go out into the weather and stay out there as long as we normally would. Absolutely, Hudson Valley. Absolutely. Mike, you're right. That's when you need a vacation to sunshine. Get away for a weekend. And we're going to talk about that as well. So those are some of the things we have to overcome and look at. Lucky Dame says there are lamps, light bulbs to help with seasonal addictive disorders, so you can get stimulated by the sun. Right, sunlight. Also, folks, up your intake of vitamin D as well, if you can. I'm not a doctor, and I am not giving you any type of medical advice whatsoever. But Lucky Dame is right. There are lamps and light bulbs that can help with that, if that happens to be the case. Ontario Prepper says also B12. Absolutely. Daryl, good to see you, my friend. Right. Try to stay active. Absolutely. And with that, folks, these are some of the things we have to overcome and be aware of at the same time, whether, like I said, it's us or family members. People become hopeless. They get depressed. They get down. And, look at just the freeze that just came through Texas and up through, the Midwest and the East Coast of the United States. Things that are going on in Canada as well. These are the things we have to prepare for. And so, I'm actually going to not turn on my furnace for the whole winter. and I'm going to do another video and talk more in depth of how what I saw as the effects upon me and what I had to do to overcome this, as well as family members and people like that. So let's just say, so here's the scenario, and we're going to get into this, and I want everybody's input so that this can be a great learning session for everybody. Just looking, fed to some warmer temps to clean up latest wind damage that will perk up the symptoms for this GMA. Right, Lady Smith, absolutely. Keep yourself busy. Occupy your mind with something else. Tori's Brain, good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. Good to see you, Ghetto. Hope you guys are doing well tonight. So with that, folks, here's the scenario. How many of you heard saying cold weather is making me depressed, or this winter is making me depressed, and things like that? We've all heard that. Okay. So with that, here's the scenario. Wherever you are and whatever your heating source is for your house, whether it be natural gas, electric, propane, whatever it is, or wood, okay? Everything in your house is working except heating your house, okay? There's no heat in the house whatsoever. Refrigerators, everything else is working. Everything is working except the heat. Now, yes, Daryl, I agree with you 100%. No matter what the situation is, coffee always helps. That's some good coffee. I would agree, Marco. And yes, very much so. So, no heat in the house. What is the first thing you do? And you can type it in the chat and I'll put them up on the screen. This is your house where you're living now. There is no heat in the house whatsoever. What is the first thing you do? Okay, she said, pulls out the Mr. Buddy heater. Okay. Very, very good. Plugs in the Mr. Buddy heater. And I'm gonna keep notes, hopefully. And go from there. Mr. Buddy heater. Dress in layers, motivated to homestead. Layers. If one of my moderators could, well, never mind. I got it. We got layers. Tonette says, get my kerosene heater going. KO heater. There we go. Now we're thinking, folks. Lady Smith says, section off one room first. Section off a room. Texas Redleg says, going for my propane buddies. Yes. Ghetto says, a pop-up tent in my bug-in bedroom I've set up is the first thing I do. That's awesome, Ghetto. Pop-up tent in bug-in room. Hey, that's great. See, everybody's got plans. Everybody's got plans. Labradorite. I probably messed up the name, but put on a hat and a neck warmer. I'm going to say scarf. So hat and scarf. $18K BTU heater on all 3 floors. Steal all barbecue tanks from neighbors. Jay Creature. Okay, you may cause some other issues, but we will say butane heater and go from there. Brandon says close doors and windows, interior and exteriors, interior and exterior, and the drapes. Close doors and drapes. All windows. We're going to be here all night. Daryl, good, good, good. Homemade candle heaters. Good evening, my Renaissance grandma. Good to see you. Good to see you. Archangel 75, shut all interior doors and try to stay in one room. Candles and oil lamps will add a little heat. Okay, we're going to add oil lamps. And Yaya Cot, Yo Vision. I'm Lair, brother, but hot. That new property today. There you go, bruh. Isolate unused rooms, correct, close off. Open my lower cabinet door so pipes don't freeze. Okay, now we're thinking. Pipes, no freeze. Do what's necessary. Okay, perfect. Ontario Prepper says, I have a portable wood stove and a generator ready to go. Naj, good to see you and welcome. Pray, break out all blankets and turn on the oven and keep the oven door open. Interesting concept, which we will talk about. So, pray, blankets, and oven door open. Okay. Propane tanks full. Light up candles in every room till it gets really cold, then turn on the buddy heater. Stay wrapped up in blankets. All right, Penny Pincher. Not a problem. Nothing for the first 2 hours. We're used to not having the central heat on. Okay. Okay, Bouger, I see you. Are we turning off the water main? Well, that's a good question, Jay Creature. And we'll talk about that, and I will mark that down. If you want to turn it off. Or drip, 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 and let it drip, drip, drip. Okay. So we've got a list 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We've got a dozen things that we're going to do first. Okay. That's good. Very good, folks. Very good. And good evening, Triple Threat, my ride and die. Good to see you. And with all the good things that we have written down and talked about in the chat, Texas Redleg, I also have my 18-volt Ryobi inverter too, if I need to plug in my oil heaters. There you go. There you go. Very nice. Very nice. Okay. With that, we're going to pause a moment, folks, and I will be right back. Hey, you right there. How you doing? Vision Preparedness here. I just wanted to take a moment to let you know, Bug Out Weekend, June 2nd through the 4th, 2023. You want to be there. Like-minded people are coming around from all over the country. and we're going to have a great time. We're going to hang out, we're going to meet, we're going to talk, we're going to learn some stuff. You need to be there. Don't miss it. That's June 2nd through the 4th, 2023. I got to get back to doing the things. Y'all be safe and God bless. And we're back. Bug out weekend, folks. Bug out weekend. Amazing. If you haven't registered, if you want to come to the bug out weekend, I put the link in the chat. Registration is open and people are registering. We're going to have a great time. There's going to be folks coming from all over the country. We're going to get together for a weekend. We're going to learn some stuff. We're going to try out gear that we bring that we never used and see if it works, see if it doesn't work. And we're going to eat some amazing food. And that is the only reason why Hudson Valley Prepping and Survival would be coming, is for the food. And that's okay. So if you want to attend and you haven't registered yet, I dropped the link and go from there. Good to see you, Donna Devine. Good to see you. Dan, because I can't find one of them. And that is why I did not have on chaps. But yes, you are correct. You should always wear chaps when using a chainsaw. I did not. Jay Creature says, I'll donate $25 to the best weird a la parody of this video posted online. Parody. All right. Well, there you go, Jay. Unicorn Lady Tech. Good to see you. Okay, back on topic. Bug out weekend. If you want to show up, register. If you've already registered, great. We'll see you when you get here. June 2nd through the 4th, 2023. Hopefully everything will be still here by that time of the year. So we've come up with a lot of great topics, and I'm going to just read through the list, and then we're going to get back to the scenario. So we talked about pulling out Mr. Buddy heater, layering up kerosene heaters, section off a room, put up the pop-up tent in the bug-in room, hat and scarf, BTU heaters, closed doors and drapes all on all windows, section off the house, homemade candle heaters, oil lamps, either turn off the main water valve or open up the bottom cabinets so the pipes don't freeze. Pray, pull out blankets, open the oven door, and turn off the main water. Okay, so we're in the house now, and we've done everything we've talked about doing. And the one thing that I will say, because my house was built in the late 60s, it's a brick home, and it's a good size. Without the heat on and all of that, the coldest it has gotten in my house is right around 56 degrees. Even in, when it was in the teens outside, the house was still warm enough. It was in the 50s. It was chilly. I'm not going to lie. It definitely was chilly. And at times I had an attitude. But I said, nope, not turning on the heat. So it got down to that. Right. As Daryl says, I like camping indoors. Yeah. Jay Creature, I'm slightly nervous about camping at Possum Creek. It sounds like the opening scene of a Law and Order episode. Jay, you'll be okay. Trust me. I won't let nothing happen to you. Good evening, Annette Spain. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Modi Soldier, if I didn't speak to you, good to see you too. So it would get about 56 degrees, maybe 55. So, it wasn't bad. It wasn't freezing. It never got down to freezing or below freezing in the house yet. and that's a good thing. As Ontario Prepper stated, if in an apartment building with tons of people, I'd be locked and ready to rock. Absolutely. So with that, we've done all of our necessary things. We've sectioned off the house. We've closed all the drapes and blinds. We've bought out everything to begin to heat a room or a couple of rooms. We've put on extra clothes. We've got blankets. Now, here's the next piece to this puzzle. And this is all our comments and what we think. As Dan said, yeah, sweatshirt 56, that's sweatshirt weather. Yeah, I would wear, a pullover, a hoodie, and I'm good. So with that, so we have a question here. Modi Soldier asked, anyone have any input on burning wood in a gas fireplace? When we moved in, previous homeowners had obviously burned some wood. I would say as long as the chimney is not capped or stuffed, I would definitely have the chimney inspected if you already did when you moved in. I've heard of people doing it. But then again, I'm not a professional, so proceed with caution. Do your due diligence on that, Modi Soldier. So now, folks, here's the situation. We've prepared our homes to deal with cold weather because we have no heat. Now, we wake up the next morning. What do we do? And put those in the chat. And let's just say the temperature in the house is, let's say it's 55 degrees in the house. What do we do now? Annette Spain, you and me both. I need to invest in a solar generator. Correct. That's good. I'm surprised nobody even mentioned that to put on the list of stuff to do or to pull out. Brandon says he's going to start doing squats and lunges. Okay. So we wake up the next morning and go from there. Brandon says 8 count bodybuilders begin. There we go. Annette Spain says jumping jacks. Okay. So first thing in the morning, you wake up, it's a little chilly. You're going to start doing calisthenics. Why are we doing that? Texas Redleg, get yourself dressed fast to retain your body heat. Absolutely. Absolutely. If you have Raynaud's or hate being cold, research boiled wool. Yep. Hats, gloves, coats. Expect to pay for it. Also, old real Navy coats. Yes, pea coats. They're boiled wool. Right. Wool will keep you warm even if it gets wet. But Annette says make coffee. And Dan H says hot food, hot drinks, and start the day. Correct. But here's the key. And I can attest to this. Get yourself dressed fast to retain your body heat. There have been many nights where I literally have wanted to sleep with my clothes on. But of course I didn't. Yeah, boiled wool. Yeah. Real Navy pea coats and Army stuff are made out of boiled wool. Ontario Prepper says, remember, you lose 39% of your body heat through the top of your head. That's why I wear a hat. You're right, Ontario Prepper. That's why I wear a hat. Naj says 55 is okay. Put on jackets and start cooking breakfast. Okay. And as my friend up north across the border says, put on a toque. Okay? Put on a toque. Correct. Triple Threat says, I have to keep thick, cozy socks on to retain heat and stay warm. Right. And that's what you do. Get yourself ready and dressed as quickly as you can and go about your normal day, folks. That helps with the mental aspect of it. Yes, it's going to be chilly in some rooms as you go throughout the house, and you may want to adjust and move portable heaters or whatever you have to heat up other rooms. Now, there's one thing I'm not sure, I think it was Naj who said it, I want to talk about. Said, turn on the oven and open the door. Back in the day, grandparents' days and all of that, that's how you heated the kitchen. Now, and I have double ovens, which are electric. So I tried this. Preheat the oven, boop, get it up to 400 degrees. It's hot in the oven, open the door. After that initial burst of heat dissipates, you will not feel the heat coming out of the oven. For sure. So if you have gas or whatever, I would not recommend turning on the oven. I tried it a couple of times and it don't work. Because a lot of times, because you have to pass through, well, my kitchen, the ovens to keep going. Inadvertently, I end up bumping the door or whatever, and it closes shut, and there you go. So with that, folks, keep in mind the mental fortitude we have to keep while we would be going about our day and things like that. You know, I would get up. So I get up, I get dressed. I always bring in wood the night before to put into the stove, pack it, and have some left over for in the morning, so I don't have to go out in the morning. And I have a nice healthy stack in the garage. So if I need to, I can just open the garage door, go out the garage, and do what I need to do. Right, Annette Spain, no oven. Right. Good point, folks. Robert said, ain't no shame in a good cardigan, people. That's right. Absolutely. Heat stones in place on open oven door for heat. Repeat as they cool. Dan, that's interesting. That's interesting. Correct. Ontario Prepper. Have backup for your backup. Plan A, B, C, D, and E. Absolutely. Right. I'm with you, Naj. My mom would keep the oven door on and door open. It worked, but we had a small house. Correct. Correct. I tried it in my situation because the kitchen is long. It just couldn't keep up with heating that much space, but you're absolutely right. My grandmother would do that. I remember that, and it would heat up the kitchen and all that good stuff. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, folks, the mental fortitude that it's going to take, because I know you're going to wake up some days and it's going to be cold. And the first thing you have to check is your mental attitude and talk to those, especially if you have multiple people in the house. Somebody going to get mad because it's cold. Devil Dog says, a trick I learned in the Marines, layers. Then as it warms up throughout the day, you should take off layers. If you keep all the layers on all day, you will be cold at night. Correct. Correct. And what you don't want to do is start sweating, because now you're opening up yourself to sickness and other things like that. Very good, Devil Dog. Very, very good. Fallen Skies, Homesteading and Preparedness Channel. Good to see you. Talked about, did you see the news about the Chinese spy balloon over us and we didn't do anything about it? I did not. I'll have to check that. As Brandon says, learn from nature. I've watched that birds and other animals don't stay active, don't start actively until the sun is out, even when it's -5. Right, right, right. That's a good one, Texas Red Leg. A Dutch oven with river rocks in it works too. Perfect, 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 perfect. What time is it? 9:26. Okay. We're moving and cooking with gas. So, folks, again, the mental fortitude. So if you're like me, because I don't like to sleep with socks on, I just don't. So I would get up, get dressed. Of course, I don't put on shoes. And I come walking down the hallway and it is ceramic tile. And, you'll hear choice words or, something to the effect that, man, it's cold out here. Now I got a almost attitude and I have to check myself and go put shoes on and so forth and so on. It's really important to keep a handle on your mental attitude in stressful situations like this. And thank you everybody for participating in this. A lot of great ideas in the comments, in the chat. Awesome. Keep it up. Do me a favor, hit the like button if you haven't. And if you have, share this video out if you don't mind, if you would like to. I don't twist arms around here. I just try to give information and get people thinking about things and doing the things. And don't sleep with socks. Triple Threat says she has to sleep with socks on. Well, good for you, Triple Threat. I'm with you, but I just don't like sleeping with socks on. So the mental preparedness. If you have other people also living in your house, you can't wake up with an attitude because we all know that Debbie Downers and Karens are sometimes contagious. So we have to check ourselves for the sake of our family and for the sake of peace throughout the day. Even though we're in a stressful situation, yes, we all know that it's cold in here and we're doing our best to keep everybody nice and warm and comfortable and go about our day. Jay Creature says, sleep, if you crush your insulation under you, it loses almost all R value. Good point. Good point, Jay Creature. Appreciate that. Briar Rose 2, welcome. Good evening. Hope you're doing well. She says, make sure the river rocks are dry to avoid the exploding. The rocks will explode or crack. There we go, folks. See, this is what I'm talking about. With that, Robert Gunther said, I've been mentally preparing my entire marriage every time my wife gets into bed and puts her frigid feet on me. Yes, my friend, I can understand that. And yeah, we deal with it and love them to death and keep on going. That's about the best we can do, for sure. But our mental attitude is half the battle. If we go through these types of stressful events with a good attitude, we're going to get farther along in the event doing better. That way, that cuts down on arguments within the family, and everything else. Bad attitudes, everybody's mad and everything else. With that, let me check in case I didn't say it, which I know I didn't. If you had questions, put them in the chat box up in the corner and we will get to them. And let me check. We have a question. Jay Creature, he talked about this. Have you ever heard of boiled wool? It's allegedly Reynolds proof. Love it. It's pricey, but it's good. Okay, boiled wool, folks, as Jay Creature has said, for the day. Check into it. I'm going to look at it and see what it's all about. That's boiled wool. Thank you, Jay Creature. Appreciate you. Sorry I didn't look earlier. I was too busy pontificating. Ooh, that's a big word. And getting through our scenario. As Lala I can't even talk tonight. Labria Dorit says, hot water bottles, they work. My brother, good to see you. Motivation from the weightlifting geek. Don't worry about being late, bro. Glad you're here. Sit back. We're talking about are we really ready for a grit down situation? Talking about our mental fortitude and health during a stressful event and how we have to prepare to deal with it so that we don't become a victim of our own sabotage. Bug Out Adventures, good to see you. TJ and GA, good to see you too. Welcome. Good to see you, folks. But yes, again, folks, our mental attitude and how we deal with stressful situations, and this scenario could compound daily. Let's just say that for some reason, because we couldn't heat the house, pipes froze and broke. I hope everybody knows where their water main shutoff valve is in their house. And if you don't, go find it. Oh, Labradorite. Okay, named after the stone. Thank you very much. Thank you for the pronunciation. Thank you. I try to pride myself on getting folks' names right, and I will do so. Labradorite. That's easy to remember and say. So with that, folks, so, this situation, we could have gone into it compounding. Pipes burst. Electric goes out. So now we have no electric, no heat, and no water. We're now in full-blown SHTF. Regardless of what's going on outside, it could be a normal day, but now inside, we have our own personal SHTF. How do we deal with it? And the big key is deal with it mentally and then go from there and put your plans into action. That's the whole key. Mental fortitude is a real thing. I just from reading the articles and talking about the UK, how people, especially elderly, older couples, older single people that live alone and they can't afford the heat and they begin to get depressed. Next thing you know, I pray to God it never happens. They find somebody frozen to death in their house. Good to see you, Paul J. Conroy Sr. Good to see you. So, with that, folks, we have to keep our mental fortitude, and with that, I'm going to tie in with the mental fortitude prayer. I'm not going to get deep, but you got to pray for the strength that we need to get through situations that we have to go through in life, period. That's what I do. That's what I believe. I'm not telling you what to do, because I don't get in grown folks' business. As my brother African Dreaming says, I don't get into grown folks' business. So with that, mental fortitude is critical in a SHTF or any crisis that we encounter. So with no heat, is it going to be a discomfort? Absolutely. Is it going to make me have an attitude? Absolutely. And one thing the article said about the UK, people that can't afford to heat their house in the winter, they begin to isolate themselves. They don't let friends and family come over to their house because it may be cold, and they don't want the embarrassment or letting somebody know I can't afford to heat my house. So they isolate themselves socially also and become a loner. Mark Kravitz, MC, good to see you, my friend. I'm really, really, really interested in seeing how that knife turns out of yours. I saw that, caught that video today, and I want to see the outcome. Jay Creature says he's contemplating a condo on the lake of fire down below. Not yet sure. Heating costs are factoring in. Correct. You're absolutely right. So, you know, folks, we have to always check our mental state before and after we react to something or begin to tackle an issue or a problem. Good to see you, Fuzzy Fork 8. Good to see you. You know, it's really, 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 really. Marco, my man, I got you. I'm with you. Take care. Be safe. Tell the missus I said hello. He says, drink your bourbon and stay warm. There you go. Well, coffee's going to have to do. Appreciate you, Marco. We got to catch up, by the way. So with that, folks, the time is 9:36. Let's see if we have any other questions, and we do not. Any other questions? Did this help? Let me ask you this. Through this scenario and all the ideas people were throwing out and talking about what to do, you know, the things they do when there is no heat in the house. Somebody give me some idea of something they learned, because I just want to make sure that we understood, you know, are we really ready for a grid down situation? And it doesn't have to be the heat. It could be electric. It could be all utilities. Now we're in a full-blown SHTF event. Paul says that I look at least as a 4-step process to try to overcome. I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you. Thank you, Jay Creature. It's 9:36. Drinks coffee at 2:38 a.m. Trip to the bathroom. Oh, yeah. While you're in there, leave it on, because I'll come in behind you and I'll use the bathroom as well. 4 ways to heat. Yep, I got you, Paul. Yes, absolutely right. Thank you, Virginia Bushcrafter. I appreciate it. So here's the thing, folks. Here's another quick scenario just to think about. Bug Out Weekend is the first weekend in June. What happens if it's cold out, if it's chilly, if it's in the mid 50s during the night? Did you bring what you need to stay warm? Of course, we will be providing all the wood for the fires and all of that good stuff, but keep that in mind. Magic, absolutely. I'm with you on that. Body heat, cuddling, y'all. Don't forget it. That's correct. That is correct. Red Scout says A to Z is the best way. Correct. If it's cold in June, no bugs. I'm down. I'm with you on that, Jay Creature. TJ and GA says I'm a wimp when it's cold. I don't like the cold. When it's cold out, I get an attitude. And so I try, and I have to control that, because I get mad and I get grumpy. I get evil. And, you know, so I just have to always check myself and my attitude, and don't take it out on my loved ones, friends, and family just because it's cold out and I'm mad. So, Dan H says, always have sleeping bag and jungle blanket in car or pack. Yes, I keep wool blankets in my truck at all times. So it stays there. Always. I always have wool blankets in my truck year round. And the good thing about wool, if it gets wet, it will still keep you warm. Uh-oh, Jay Creature, plot twist. Any temperature below 98, you're losing body heat. So you get wet at 60 degrees, you could get in trouble. That is true, Jay. Absolutely. You're absolutely correct. And Naj says, I always take some heavy jackets and blankets when I go camping. Right. So when you come to the Bug Out Weekend, folks, be prepared. Bring the things you need. Okay? Because we will be camping outside. And there will be restroom facilities for the ladies. and water nearby, and there's a lake or a giant monster pond, and plenty of firewood. So we'll be good. And I'm definitely bringing wool blankets, sleeping bags, maybe bring a comforter or two. And Donna Devine says, rather be cold than hot. I'm the opposite. It's easier for me to get cool than to get warm. That may be because I'm old, but then again, I'm old for a reason. So that's a good thing. As Triple Threat said, I don't like cold nor heat. I want the perfect temperature. Well, Triple Threat, let me know when you find the perfect temperature. Yes, there it is in one word, Hawaii, folks. M&T Living and Cooking, good to see you. Good to see you tonight. Magic, I'm with you. Give me the heat. Yes, I'll take the heat any day. I can get cool. I just don't like being cold, because when you get cold to the bone, and then the extremities slow down, your dexterity slows down, and you can't do the things that need to be done. Jay Creature says, weekend backpacking will have you ready, figuring out what you want to actually bring on the move. Right, the balance of weight and comfort. Absolutely, Jay Creature. Absolutely. Motivation from the weightlifting geek. I'd rather be hot than cold too. Absolutely, bro. I'm with you all day. It's easier for me to get cool than it is for me to get warm. And Paul says, and with a sandstone pot, can then work as a radiator to give off heat hours after you shut off the heat source. Correct. Correct. This is great. Good stuff, folks. I'm glad everybody is sharing ideas, giving some tips. I hope you guys got something out of this, because I know I did. And I just wanted to share with you my little experiment and what I'm doing this winter, and not turning on the furnace in my house this whole winter. I haven't had it on yet all year, and hopefully I will not have to. And the powers that be and family that is around me will just have to deal with it, because I'm not going to do it. And I want to see the psychological effects, the physical effects, and the financial effects. And, you know, that's a good thing. As Mark says, if you're a Hawaiian, you need a boat to bug out. That's very true. Very true. Yes. But, you know, everybody, I appreciate, it's 9:44. I truly appreciate everybody for coming out and taking time out of your important evening to come spend with me. It always humbles me that I could become a content creator and people will actually listen and want to have input as well as I do, because it's not all about me, because I don't know everything. And I learned a lot in the chat tonight about what to do in a cold house. But I'm to the point where now I'm used to it. Briar Rose too, you are more than welcome. I thank you for spending time here with me. If there's anybody in the chat I did not speak to, I apologize, and good evening and welcome. And I hope everybody got something out of this. Thank you, bro. I appreciate you. We need to talk, because I want to share something with you. I'm glad you can make it to M&T Living and Cooking. You know, I was about to crack open a jar of jalapenos and bite into one just to get some body heat inside going on. You are more than welcome. More than welcome. Jay Creature says, I am an awesome host. I've spread the word. You are a realist. I can only be me, and the real me is me. Love me or leave me alone. And you guys are amazing, period. That's why we do the things that we do here at Vision Preparedness, and I'm gonna even share this with y'all. For those of you that are planning on coming to the Bug Out Weekend, and if you have not registered, that's fine. Register when you need to. But I will say this: everybody that shows up at the Bug Out Weekend is going to take something home that they did not come with. And that's just a little token of gratitude from me and my crew, and those that volunteered to help put on our first of many Bug Out Weekends. It's been amazing. We should have a good group of folks that show up, just from what I've seen so far from the registration. But you guys make us good, plain and simple. And we try to deliver content that is valuable, helpful, and get your wheels turning and thinking about stuff. And I learn from you guys just as much as you may learn from me. I don't know if you learn anything from me, but I learned a lot from everybody. And I truly appreciate all of you. And it is 9:47. And I truly hope that everybody has an amazing evening and week. And again, I see everybody dropping their links. Make sure you check some of these folks out. Jay Creature, M&T Living and Cooking. Folks, this is what I'm going to ask everybody to do. M&T Living and Cooking is fairly new to YouTube. Go check out their channel. Watch some of their stuff. Watch some of their videos, their lives. Like them. Drop a comment. If you like what you see, subscribe to them, folks. I'd like to see anywhere from 10 to 20 their numbers increase just from people here, because we're all family and we support each other. Jay Creature, Pop Smoke. Peace later, my friend. I'm going to pop some smoke myself. Thank you, Naj. Check out all of the content creators throughout the link, folks. And remember this, folks. Keep prepping, because your family depends on you, and it depends on your life. God bless everybody. Everybody have a safe evening. Have a great Friday, and have an amazing weekend. I will see y'all Saturday morning for our breakfast and a talk. Until then, this is Vision Preparedness. Everybody have a blessed evening. I'm Trent, and this is Vision Preparedness.